Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are joining me from for this week's edition of Sunday Service. It's me, your Aunty Nelly. It's Sunday and I'm here to service you. If you do follow my Instagram, Aunty Nelly Uncensored, you'll see that I have just posted a little story letting you know what's happened after I advertised Sunday Service. I took the rubbish out to the bin and my fucking back's gone. I don't know whether it's just a muscle strain or whether I've actually popped the disc in my back again. Thank you, Bronwyn Harrison. How's my back? Yeah, I've took some very strong painkillers. I'm going to do Sunday Service and then I am going to assess what the fuck's happened to my back. So, we'll see how far we get with Sunday Service, but I'm in a lot of pain. Not gonna lie, I'm in a lot of pain. Is there anybody watching who has ever put their back out? Is there anybody watching who's ever had a slipped disc? The last time I slipped a disc, I ended up in hospital and they were sending me for spinal surgery, and then they decided to inject me with anyway, so I have back problems, but I cannot believe that Karen Collins is watching his sunny Spain. We were supposed to have had a heat wave this weekend here in Rosendale. I think they got us a bit confused with somewhere else, but here I am. It's time for Sunday Service. We're going to give it our best shot, and you know, my back is fucked, but I'm on strong painkillers and I'm sure that they'll start kicking in soon. I took them about 10:45 a.m. They haven't actually kicked in just yet, but you know what? Let's see how we go. Let's see how we go. Yeah, it could just ease off and that'll be fine. I have given friends and family the code to my key safe at my front door in case I get where I need help because I can't move and I've got stuck. And that is always my worry, getting stuck when my back goes because I live alone. So we'll see how we go after Sunday Service. If I can make it up the stairs, I might make it up the stairs and just stay there because that's near the toilet. Greetings in Saddleworth. Dawn Collins has joined. Hello, Dorothy Hansen in Denmark. Michelle Pennington in Sydney. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're watching me from. What is Sunday Service if you're not aware? So I've gained some new followers this week. People writing to the page, flower pots writing to the page, and I get some Dear Aunty Nellies. With them Dear Aunty Nellies, I don't know what I'm going to read until I open the Dear Aunty Nelly. So it's a bit of a surprise. I don't know what it's going to say and I don't know what my answer is going to be. So anything I do say, any advice given today, then it is purely for entertainment purposes. If you do need to seek professional help, I advise you to do that. Madison says, evening from Australia. I'm hoping it's evening soon, and then this will have passed and we can just all have a laugh about it, can't we? So here I am. Good afternoon, Katie Smith. Good afternoon, Natasha Warrington. No. Why did you have to make a new profile, Natasha Warrington? What happened? So it's Sunday Service. It is the 15th of May 2022. Last week I came back and addressed my flower pots on what had been happening. It was the first Sunday Service for a long time. And the Lancashire Telegraph, where I live, decided to run the story. I didn't mind, I didn't get permission, but you don't have to. Once it's on the actual media channels, anyone can have access to it. But I was so pleased that they did because they put in lots of helpful numbers for mental health, suicide awareness, and also for eating disorders. So thank you to the Lancashire Telegraph for actually assisting me with my voice. It was just a snapshot last Sunday of what had been happening, but it was nice that now people have reached out since then telling me that they also have been suffering with poor mental health. They've fallen off the road to recovery. They're turning to things that they shouldn't be doing. And it's been nice to know that you're not alone, but it's also nice to know that they've been able to reach out to me. So it's give people a voice as well to know that they're not alone. So please keep writing into the page however you wish to do so. Okay, hello Debbie Lucas, hello Leanne Claire, Alison Ward. Shall we get going? I need these painkillers to kick in. Dear Aunty Nelly, oh, everyone that writes into the page, it is always anonymous, so don't worry about that, okay? Mandy Swain, I did nighttime with Nelly on Wednesday. You can scroll back through my page, watch it on Catch Up or watch it on my YouTube channel, wherever. Maria Kissett says she's been a fan for so long from the Philippines. Hello, Maria. Dear Aunty Nelly, I oversee the petty cash at work. Okay. But a colleague of mine is responsible for buying things for the office and going to the bank to make the bank deposits and obtain petty cash for the following week. Okay. Recently, I've had a conversation with my supervisor who said she would have to increase the petty cash amount as it was not enough. Oh, after having a good look, I have realised that the float is more than enough. So my colleague has obviously she means, been pocketing the cash. So do I tell them to put it back or go straight to my supervisor? Thanks, Nelly. I'd go straight to your supervisor because what you're doing then, if you go to your colleague, hello Mickey Sharky, how are you darling, long time no see. If you ask that colleague to put the money back because you're then suspicious of them taking money, you're sort of allowing a fraudulent act to occur, aren't you? So what I would say is go straight to your supervisor and say, just having a look at the petty cash, I've just had a look as to why you think the float needs to be higher. I don't actually think it does. I think there might be a discrepancy. I've had a look at it. Now do you want to have a look at it? And it is the supervisor's job then, being head of you, to actually find that. So you have your suspicions now. You can take your suspicions, but I certainly wouldn't approach your colleague and say, I know what you've been doing, put it back or I'll tell. I would just certainly whistleblow it straight away to your supervisor. You have a responsibility to your job role. You have a responsibility to actually whistleblow any kind of fraudulent activity within the workplace. So I would go straight to my supervisor with that. There's a way that you can do it. You can actually say, I am suspicious of, or this isn't right, have a look at it, and I'm sure that they'll also come to that conclusion. Okay, bless you. Dear Aunty Nelly, my husband and I recently went out for dinner. It is a brand new restaurant. We were so excited to visit it. It was 100 miles away. Fucking hell, it must be some good food if you're going 100 miles away, Flower. We were shocked when we saw my best friend's husband there with a much younger lady. They were behaving in a way that was intimate. It was definitely clear they were more than friends. He did not see us, and I know my friend and him are still together. Do I tell my friend? Do I tell him, please help? Oh, so, new restaurant opens up, it's over 100 miles away. You and husband think, go on, we'll treat ourselves. It'll be a nice ride out, nice meal. You get there, and one of your best mates' husband's there, and he's romancing a young lady that isn't his wife. What do you fucking do? Ooh, he didn't see you, but you saw him. Right, so, do you go straight to your friend? Or do you go to him? What do you do? But why am I speechless? Why am I stumped? Is it the painkillers? Right, okay. What do you do? What do you say? Do you ignore it? Do you ignore it? Was it definitely him, or was it somebody that looked like him? Ah! Oh, what would you do? What would I do? What would I do? I'd tell him. I'd get hold of him somehow and say, listen, bit of an awkward situation here, but is everything okay? Simply because we went over to a restaurant and saw you. What the fuck's happening? I need you to know that I've seen you, regardless of it being 100 miles away. I've seen you, and I'm not happy about it because that's my best mate, and I don't want my best mate getting hurt. So what the fuck's going on, and what are you going to do about it? I wouldn't go to your mate because it's like gossiping, and you want the facts, don't you? But you want that person to know that he's been caught out. So what's he going to do about it? So I definitely go to him and let him know that you've seen him, you're not happy with what you saw, and what is he going to fucking do about it? What the hell's going on in his marriage? He may turn around and say, oh yeah, well me and Jackie have an open relationship, and the reason I go so far away is to stop people catching me out, kind of thing. But you don't know until, but I definitely go to him first. I have a feeling that the answers I'm going to give on today's show not only will be purely for entertainment purposes, will be a little bit not quite, anyway, yeah, painkillers definitely kicking in. If he says, if he does a shaggy on you, and goes, wasn't me, then that's fine. He's every right to say it wasn't me and deny it. Does that then mean that then you go to your mate and say, you'll never fucking guess? I need to tell you this because we're mates, we have no secrets, but I went away to a restaurant 100 miles away with husband, and I fucking could have put my mortgage on the fact that your husband was there, you're romancing a young woman. So I told him, and he said it wasn't me. So I then do it that way, and then hopefully it might plant a little seed of her thinking, oh, hang on a fucking minute, it might have been him. So do it that way. So approach him. If he tells you blah, 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 fine, what's going to do about it? If he does a shaggy on you and says it wasn't me, tell your mate then in a way where it's just, you'll never fucking guess, and see what happens. Dear Aunty Nelly, I have just recently inherited a very large amount of money. Oh, now then. This is due to the passing of my grandfather. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm sure you'd rather have your granddad than you would money. So now that it is common knowledge, one of my best friends has said that he has the perfect opportunity for me to double the inheritance I've just come into. He will not tell me though exactly how this is going to make me money. He just said, I do not need to know as it's not exactly legal. Oh dear God. He wants me to give him £3,750 and promises me that this is enough for me to never work again. I am tempted. I don't know though if I should trust it because it is a fraud. What would you do? I just think, end of the day, you've got this inheritance from your granddad, as I've just said, you'd rather have your granddad than the money. Keep your nose clean. If this scheme was so fucking good, right, your mate would have piped up about it before you come into an inheritance. It sounds to me like they're trying to make money out of you having money, and regardless of it, whether it doubles your income and you'll never have to work again, whatever, however he's trying to sell it, the fact that he won't actually tell you exactly how that's going to happen or what the scheme actually is a scam in itself. The fact that it's fraudulent, no. You got your money, your granddad's passed, invest your money well, don't fall for shit like cryptocurrency and all that nonsense. Just say thanks but no thanks, and that's it. Leave it at that. Don't need to lose your friendship, certainly don't need to lose your money. And yeah, it is tempting to make a quick buck overnight, isn't it, and double your money. Of course it's tempting. That's why we play lottery or people gamble. But honest to God, invest the money that Grandad left you wisely. Get a financial advisor to assist you with that. Don't fall for any scams at all. Don't do it. If this friend of yours is so clever at making money double overnight, or they're living in the Barbados Isles, that's a new thing on the map. Or they, how are they living? Sounds to me like it's a scam. He's seen you coming, fuck it off, and just be right with the money that you've got. And if you want to double the money that you've got, like I say, speak to a financial advisor. See how best to invest that money legally. Okay? He's probably still working fucking full time, isn't he? He's probably not been able to invest whatever, and because it's probably not true. I got into watching, in lockdown, I got into watching Kit Boga on YouTube. Kitboga, young man that scams the scammers and scammer payback, and honest to God, I got into it, and the amount of fraudulent texts we get, usually my mum will ring up and say, Royal Mail have said there's a parcel waiting for me, but I haven't ordered. I'm like, it's a scam. So the scam companies everywhere, don't fall for it. Dear Aunty Nelly, what colour? Oh, here we go, every now and again. Dear Aunty Nelly, what colour are the seats in the House of Commons? Green. Dear Aunty Nelly, I am not the same person I was 2 years ago, pre-COVID. Are any of us really, are we? I used to be such an outgoing person, and I love being at events and taking part in things. I enjoyed making new friends and was often considered to be the life and soul of any party. But now, I doubt I will ever be that person again. I still go to the events and things, which I used to enjoy, but it's not the same. I see everyone else enjoying themselves, and I wonder why I am not. I just want to go home and hide away. I think, yeah, it's a tough one, this one, because the media and actual COVID itself put the fear of fucking God into us, didn't it? And then when all of a sudden restrictions were lifted and we could go out again, are you vaccinated? Have you had your booster? Have you got your fucking COVID pass? It kind of sucked all the fun out of everything, didn't it? You know, COVID come along and with the most biggest fun sponge that I've ever encountered. Also, not long have we got over that, then we've got the crisis of cost of living. So we're all still terrified of our gas and electric bills. Plus we've still got the war in Ukraine going on. I think what I would do here is have a complete detox from media, what the media try to brainwash you with, and just go with what you're doing that day. Enjoy the small things in every day. If you used to be able to stand in a stadium of 10,000 people, but now can only stand somewhere where there might be 10, that's also okay. Do what you can. Don't concentrate on what you can't do. Concentrate on what you can. I learned that when I had my stroke. When I had my stroke, and then I was in a wheelchair and I couldn't walk, and I can't walk this morning, my back's gone, but I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I was blind in one eye, I couldn't lift my right arm, my right leg wasn't working. I got so occupied on what I couldn't do that I kind of forgot or didn't embrace what I could. So concentrate on what you can do and concentrate on the good around you and the happiness around you. And if that means limiting your social circle, do it. If that means not going to places that are going to suck the fun out of you or worry about going, then do something on a smaller scale. Things will increase and things will get slightly better, but I think you're pushing yourself back into your old ways with your new brainwashed brain. Now, I ain't saying that what the media tell us is lies. I do think they're embellished for good reason, but I'd certainly also not expect you to believe what I say. I want you to do what makes you happy for today. Tomorrow's promised to nobody, and concentrate on what you can do rather than what you can't. So if you think about, well, I used to be able to do that and I can't anymore, you're already thinking in a negative fashion. So you're taking all the positivity away. You're actually cock-blocking yourself from doing the things that you do enjoy and want to do. It's just that you might have to do them on a much smaller scale until you get your confidence back a little bit and you don't feel as terrified of the outside world. And when COVID did come along and we were all stuck in isolation and locked in, lockdown, whatever you want to say, it was a bit scary for everybody to try and go back to do what they used to do. And will we ever go back to doing what we used to do? No, because restrictions are in, policies and procedures have changed. Everything's so much different. Should that change us as a person? Absolutely. We need to be more aware. And we need to be more aware, not just for us, but for the people around us. So, you know, just still live your life. Still live it to the best of your ability. And work with what you've got now. Okay? And not how it used to be. Because nothing will ever be the same again. Oh dear God, we've got War and Peace. Here we go. Dear Aunty Nelly, I got engaged 3 months ago to my partner of 4 years. We are a blended family and have 5 kids between us. I've always wanted to get married, but we had discussed it a couple of years ago and he told me he did not believe in marriage, okay? He thought it was outdated and did not change anything between a couple. He said the fact that we have bought a house together and are raising our kids together is more of a commitment than marriage, okay? Obviously, I was delighted when he asked me, but when discussing, I wanted to make sure he really did want to. Why has he asked you if you don't believe in it? He said it would be good for the kids to be more stable and bring our families together, but that was not really bothered about it. But he did it because I wanted it. Right, okay. He said the fact that I knew he did not see the value in marriage should have made his proposal even more special. And I should have been really impressed the fact that he asked me to marry him, knowing that he didn't want to get married. My question is, here we go, do you think I should go ahead with it, even though I know that he is doing this for the kids and because it is what I want, even though I know he doesn't want it himself? Whoo, I do not want it, because I don't want it to become resentment in the future. He said he would not feel differently towards me the day after he did the day before we got married, which makes me sad. What do I do? I mean, I think he's right in the sense of where this day and age, we don't have to get married to live together, to have kids, to be together. You know, in the olden days, the days where I was young, I got married in 1993, people didn't really live over the brush. There wasn't a lot of common law man and wife. You know, you left your house in a white wedding dress and then went off and made your home. This day and age, it's okay if you live with somebody and you're not married. This day and age, it's okay if you have sex before marriage. The devil does not come down and get you and take you to hell, which is what I was told. The Roman Catholics really, the Italian Roman Catholics really put the fear of God in you. You know, things are different now. How much does this wedding mean to you? What will it mean to you? I salute his honesty in saying, I'm doing this for you because I know you want that and I love you enough to give you what you want. But it's not going to change for me. I already see you as my wife. We're living like man and wife. So I don't think he's saying it in a way that, how can I explain it? I don't think he's saying it where he's going to be just like, oh, it's just another day, it won't be any different. I think what he's trying to say is, I'm doing this for you because I love you and I know this is what you want. However, for me, I don't need a piece of paper and a wedding ring to show the world my commitment to you. So I think really that's what you have to question. That's what you have to look at. If it's not going to change anything for him, is it going to change anything for you? Because being a blended family, having a mortgage together, living together, what will it change? Is it the fantasy that you had as a little girl growing up that you wanted to wear a white wedding dress and you walk around the kitchen with tea towel on your head pretending it were a veil? What is it? What will it change? And I think that is a question you need to be asking yourself. I can't answer that. So do you still want to marry this man? And if you do, why? And what will it change? If it's a case of nothing's going to change, everything will stay just as it is. It's just that I want him to be my husband, not my partner. I want to share his last name. I want him to be my husband. Then of course explain that to him in the way I've explained it. I get what you're saying, but I really want you to be my husband. Somebody commented about me being a young bride. I was 19 when I got, I was 15 when I met my ex-husband, 17 when I got engaged, 19 when I got married, 21 when I got divorced. Come on. Yeah, I was. 1993 was not the olden days, but it certainly feels like it. And I think my age is telling me now, especially with my back, that I need to take things a bit slower. Dear Aunty Nelly, I've been in a long distance relationship with my partner for 7 years. For 4 of those years, his ex-girlfriend rented a room in his house, and he said it was awkward for me to stay over at his. He also did not introduce me to his family, as he did not want to upset his ex. Sorry, there's a red flag smacking me up back at head here. I did meet some of his friends and we were quite open on social media. Since his ex moved out, he told me that he would not see much of her, just the odd phone call. But I recently found out that he has had 2 long weekend breaks with his ex in his holiday cottage. Oh, that's a bit posh, isn't it? Holiday cottage. Both times he lied to me and said he was going away on his own and only admitted the truth when I really pushed and said I would pay him a surprise visit. Right, okay. It also turns out that they meet up for lunch. He does own DIY and they text each other every day. I have now broken off the relationship and he says I am being unreasonable. She is one of his best friends and why should they not spend time together? For me, it's about honesty and trust in a relationship. I am just worried I have been too controlling, telling him who he can be friends with. Am I right? Yeah, we can't tell our partners who they can have as mates and they can't. That's not up to us, that's up to them to form their own friendships. There's too many fucking red flags here. Was she ever an ex? Was you the other woman and he was still living with her? That's why you weren't allowed round and you weren't allowed to meet his friends, his family, because you were the other woman. Then did they go through a rough patch and then she moved out but didn't really? And then have they been like going away at weekends now, trying to patch up, trying to get back, see if they can sort of like get that spark back? I think you've done the fucking right thing, mate. You've dodged a bullet, you've fucked off. You can't, regardless of the situation, with somebody that tells you lies and you don't trust. Trust is absolutely paramount in a relationship. He's lied to you once, he'll lie to you again. You've done the right thing. Go through the grieving, healing process of the loss of a relationship and let it fucking go. Let her have to deal with that. I'm not often right, but when I'm right, I'm right. I don't think she were ever his ex in first place. She became his kind of, we're on a break, and they were trying to get it back together. That's why they've gone away to holiday cottage. That's why he texts her on a daily basis. That's why he's still in contact with her. Trust is absolutely everything, Lauren Baker. You're absolutely right. And yeah, I think that's what it were. I think that's what it were. You were never actually with somebody who was single in the first instance until he were a bit single, but then he's trying to get back what he had with his ex and he's keeping you on a fucking string. You're absolutely right though. We haven't got the permission to control who our partners are with. That's up to them to build them friendships. And I ain't saying that exes can't be friends. Olivia's dad has been in my life since I was 15. I'm 48. He's like a relative. I don't even think about the times we were together. He's like one of my best mates, but there's nothing there. And if anybody was ever jealous of that relationship with Olivia's dad, they can absolutely fucking do one, because that's the father of my child and we'll always be in each other's lives because we have a daughter together. Granted, she's 27 in October and we don't have to speak now as much as we did when she was younger. But if I pick up the phone, he's there, and if he rings me, I'm there, because that's my daughter's dad. If he's happy, she's happy. That's it. Can exes be mates? Absolutely. Should it be a secret thing about it and going away at weekends to holiday cottages and all that? Fuck off, no. No, because they'll never make you a priority, will they? Moving on. Dear Aunty Nelly, a friend of mine had been seeing a guy for about 3 years. They get on so well together and I'm right happy for them. Can I just say, when people write into the page, they might not actually write in the words I'm using. It's just I speak as I read, if you will. So they do actually sometimes word it differently. It's just that she just said I'm very happy for them and I put I'm right happy for them. Do you know what I mean? However, when I mentioned in a video chat recently on a FaceTime with them both that I liked him, she got really angry and hung up. I called her right back. And I've been calling her every day for a week, but she just won't answer. She's obviously avoiding me, but I don't know why. I did not mean that I fancied a boyfriend, only that he is a good man and she is lucky to have him. I hate the idea that I have lost a good friend over this. What should I do? Sounds a little bit adolescence, this. You're on FaceTime to your mate and boyfriend's on it, and then you're saying on FaceTime, oh, I really like you. But how have you said it? How has she interpreted that? Because if I say to my mates, right, oh, he's lovely, your fella, you right lucky to have him, it's not something I would say because they'd be lucky to have them. Because I've got some fucking stellar friends, you know what I mean? So, as she took offence, number one, that he's lucky to have her, therefore he's better than her, or as she thought, you like him, as in you like him. So because she's not answering your calls, then you're never going to get your point across and you're not going to say what you actually meant. So rather than keeping your gob shut, she's not answering your calls, send a message, send a WhatsApp, send a text, send an email, write a letter. If then that person still decides they don't want any contact with you, let it go. You didn't mean it, there was no malice in it, and if they can't understand that and accept your apology as to like, I didn't mean it like that, I didn't mean he was well fit, I didn't mean that you're lucky to have him because he's better than you. Just explain exactly what you meant, and for all we know, God knows what's going on in their relationship and why she spat a dummy out. So one more go, send a text, send a letter, send a card, send an email, send some sort of communication if she's not answering the phone, and then wait for a response. No response is a response. Off you fuck. Okay, and move on. And these things happen, don't they? Friends come and go. Just, it is what it is. Dear Aunty Nelly, I have always thought my daughter-in-law didn't like me, and now I have discovered something that confirms it. Oh, I was recently babysitting my granddaughter when she asked me to go and get her another blanket. I opened up the cupboard where they are stored, and that's where I discovered all perfumes, clothes and gifts I had ever given my daughter-in-law over the years. She's been my daughter-in-law for 7 years. Everything is still in its packaging. She's obviously never used any of it. Should I confront her? I think the fact that your daughter-in-law has kept all these gifts that you've been sending her for 7 years and not actually what the fuck's going on there? Re-give them away as gifts or give them to charity. She's actually kept them but not used them. It doesn't mean she doesn't like you. It might mean that you don't quite know her. The fact that you think your daughter-in-law doesn't like you, I think has probably stopped you forming a close connection. You've probably been on pins maybe, walking on eggshells around your granddaughter, your daughter-in-law. So you probably never really actually got to know what her likes are. So maybe you're buying a perfume, but it might not be a favourite perfume. But because you're a mother-in-law, she hasn't got the heart to give it to charity or give it away again as a gift. So I don't think here, she don't like me. She's not even bloody wearing that jumper I got her. She might not like the colour, it might not fit her. She hasn't given away, so all's not lost here. So open up a vessel of friendship with your daughter-in-law. Ask your daughter-in-law if she wants to go and do a bit of shopping with you or go for coffee. Ask her how her week's been. Tell her she looks lovely. Say, I really like that shirt you're wearing. Do you like pink? Because you really suit it. Try and get to know her a little bit more as a friend, even though she's your daughter-in-law and the mother of your granddaughter. Coming from that, you may be able to build a little bit more of a friendship. You may get to know her likes and needs, her wants, her desires. And then, you know, don't take offence. Don't take offence that she hasn't actually used any of the purchases you've got her. I think I'd be flattered that they've actually not given it to charity, give it away. Or repackaged it and give it back to you for a different occasion. That happens a lot. So yeah, I think get to know your daughter-in-law a little bit more and, you know, stop going in with the negative of, oh, she doesn't like me. Well, no, not necessarily. She might just not know you enough for you to feel that she likes you. So work on that relationships. Relationships are fucking hard work. It's a daily effort. No matter what relationship it is, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, next door neighbour, friends, work colleagues, partners, they're fucking hard work, but you've got to put the effort in. Once you start putting the effort in, if you're getting a brick wall every time, then yeah, she might not be your biggest fan, but that's also okay. We can't like everybody in life. Moving on. Dear Aunty Nelly, I think I'm going to have to go to urgent care. Whoo! To the outside world, my partner is a great man. He is on numerous committees and is respected and popular. But behind closed doors, he is a monster. I've got Lady Gaga singing Monster now in my head. Sorry about that. He comes home drunk and verbally abuses me. He tells me I'm fat and ugly and that I'm lucky he does not sleep around. I cannot carry on like this. I try to do everything for him, so why does he treat me so badly? He treats you badly because you allow him to. Things only happen to us that we allow, okay? I'll say it again. The things that happen to us are happening because we allow them to. You are allowing your partner to come home, whether it be drunk, sober, whatever, and verbally abuse you. You are allowing your partner to make you feel less than. The longer this has gone on, the longer he has felt that you are giving him permission to make you feel like you have no self-worth, to lower your self-esteem. And maybe you are, apologies, there's, let me just ban from stream. Right, okay, there's a scammer on this, so if anybody does comment on your comments or whatever, just ignore it and I will ban as I get time. Yeah, so whenever our partners or anybody in our lives, friends, family, whoever it is, we can remove them people. It's happening because you're allowing it to. So what is your next step here? Did you think that by doing everything for him would make him not abuse you as much? If anything, it sounds like it's escalating. And nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors, so you probably feel a little bit bitter and a bit resentment that everyone thinks your partner's great when you know he's an absolute fucking wank splat. Have that conversation with him and say, hang on a minute, Freddie, this will go on no fucking more. You think I'm fat, you think I'm ugly, and I should be happy that you're with me? Well, let me tell you something now. Off your foot, flower, for somebody that's not fat and not ugly. I'm happy as I am, and let somebody come to me who doesn't think I'm fat and ugly and who wants to actually be with me and not because they're doing me a fucking favour. There's the door, flower. You've that many people who support you, love you, and your own committees. Off your foot to them, because I'm not interested. Stand up for yourself. You might not be a size 8 and you might not be fucking Jennifer Lopez. No, none of us fucking are. But you will be beautiful in somebody's eyes, and you know whose eyes you need to be beautiful in? Your own. And when you're taking the verbal abuse of somebody, shit stinks and it sticks. And you will start to believe that you're fat, you're ugly, you're not worthy, and you should be so privileged that he's even bothering to stay with you. Change that around sooner rather than later. Do not allow anybody to speak to you like that. Don't give them the time of fucking day. Stand up for yourself. Know your worth. Pick up that self-esteem, and it's the best thing you'll ever do. Okay? Best thing you'll ever do, because he won't be expecting it. He thinks he's some kind of fucking king sat on his throne. He needs to come off that pedestal, Dundee. And the only person who can tell him that and say that to him is you. So stick up for yourself and tell him you're not allowing this behaviour anymore. Either he changes it or he fucks off. The only person that you need to feel worthy to is yourself. Don't have anybody else around you that sucks the fucking life out of you. Okay? Why is it happening, Aunty Nelly? Because you're allowing it to. And that has been today's Sunday service. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I do. I have. I'm now going to see if I can actually stand up, and I think it's time for a little visit to our local urgent care centre to have a look at my back to see what the fuck I've actually fucking done. If you've liked this video, give it that like, give it that love, give it that share. I'll be back on Wednesday with Night Time with Nelly. If anybody comments on your comments with prize, giveaway, gift, invitation, it's a scam, don't fall for it. Any advice I've given on today's show has been purely for entertainment purposes, and we've been sponsored by Cocodamol. Hope to see you all soon. Whatever you do, flower pots, be good.